Hi, my name is Jantien. Welcome to this yoga class. Today we're going to do a deep body stretch with some self-love, some self-care and some fun. Let's get started. Okay, we're just going to start by sitting comfortable position. So if cross-legged is uncomfortable for you, make sure that you, for example, use a folded blanket or a cushion. Or just, start on a chair. Everything's fine. Just make sure that you sit comfortably, that you can relax the hips, you can relax the legs, the back and the belly. That way you can basically find a moment for yourself before we start moving on the mat to just connect with yourself basically. If you had a very busy day or very hectic week, if you're all over the place, it's nice to have this kind of pause in between your daily activities and your activities on the yoga mat. Just to tune in with yourself. You can ask yourself, really, you can literally just say out loud, how am I doing? How am I doing right now? How's my body feeling? Is there anything I notice? Do I have a lot of tension? Or maybe you're already very relaxed. And that's really good. You can breathe deeply. Just make sure you relax your belly and you just breathe naturally in and out. And if you want, you can make it a very deep inhalation and a very long and quiet exhalation. Maybe you feel the need to yawn or to sigh. And you can always follow those impulses. Your body will always tell you what it needs. It's just, it's up to us to listen and to learn to pick up the signals basically. And it's nice to know for yourself what you're working with right now. So if you're on the mat, it's nice to know if you're moving, how to take care of yourself, how to make sure you don't cross your limits, how to make sure that it's going to be a pleasant experience. Because yoga should be fun, Okay. One more deep breath in and all the way out. Relax the shoulders, the head, the face, and you can use some muscles to smile. So keep it light, okay? Keep it fun. And when you breathe in, you can bring both hands all the way up. Stretch yourself, fully stretch. Keep it there, keep breathing. So keep the breathing in and out, full stretch. And when you breathe out, slowly lower your hands in front of your heart. You can always breathe out if you want through the mouth, but keep it soft, okay? Don't go, but slowly keep control over your breathing basically. Okay, we're gonna go the other way. When you breathe in, all the way up, keep stretching. And when you breathe out, push your hands down, like you're pushing the air down basically. All the way, maybe a little bit to the back, so you open the front. And relax. One more to the side. All the way up, stretch yourself out fully. And when you breathe out, lower your hands. Keep them in front of your heart. And when you breathe in, back up. Back up there. There we go. Big stretch out. All the way out. Okay. Then we're gonna go to side stretch. You can keep the right hand on the mat and you can lift the left one all the way up and over, just as much as far as you like. You can keep a small stretch, you can make it bigger, whatever feels good for you. You can bend the other arm. Try to keep your shoulders away from your ears. Okay, so you don't hang in your shoulders, but keep an active stretch all the way. When you breathe out, you can come forward. So you keep the stretch on the left side, but you can kind of reach forward with your left hand, all the way forward, breathe in, come back up. Open, 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 so push the upper hand backwards. So you open the front. One more time. Breathe out, stretch forward. Keep the stretch, keep sitting, so both sitting bones on the floor. Stretch yourself out. And when you breathe in, all the way back up. Okay, keep breathing. So try to release. If you have a lot of tension in the belly area, try to actively release and keep the air flowing downwards. Okay, when you breathe in, all the way up. Out, relax. Hand back down. We're gonna go the other way. Right hand up and over. Stretching the right side. Keep on stretching as far as you like. If you want, you can place your hand a little bit further and place your elbow on the ground. Make sure the left buttocks is on the floor so you don't tilt. When you breathe out, stretch forward. Keep the right side long. Make a big stretch. In, back up. One more time. Breathe out. Come forward, stretch yourself all the way out. And when you breathe in, all the way back up. One more big breath here. And when you breathe in next, come all the way up. Out, relax. Very good. If you want, you can just roll your shoulders a little bit. Keep it nice and loose, you know, just wiggle yourself basically. Okay. You can bring the soles of the feet together. You can hold your feet if you want. You can hold your ankles if you feel like you have to really stretch to keep on the toes. And just wheel. We're just gonna do a little active butterfly here to open up the hips, hip sockets, the groin a little bit, make some space. Try to keep the back long so you don't go forward too much, because if you, for example, if you feel a lot of pressure on your feet right now, you're probably also pulling on your back, and you should just keep a loose back. So otherwise you can just, use no hands, that's fine too. You just hold your ankles. And you can make a stretch forward. So if you go forward and you hold your feet, for example, keep a long back, and with that long, like someone is pulling from the top of your head upwards, not only downwards. So you keep a long back. If you feel you're gonna round it, just lift the sternum, relax the hips. It's more relax. That was okay. The more relaxed you can keep the hips, the easier it is to just bend forward with a straight back. They don't have to go very far, it's not about, your nose touching the ground or whatever. It's about opening the hip area, the groin area, without compromising the length of the back. When you're breathing, come back up. Slowly, take your time. You can place both feet forward, and if you want, you can just kind of make your hands a bit smaller like this, and you can kind of release some tension in the legs this way. So you kind of warm them up. Keep the legs relaxed, and just slowly, hips too, bottom, and the other one, all the way, outside, inside. Okay, when you're ready, you can just rub them a little bit, warm them up. It's very nice, if you feel a lot of tingling in the legs when you do this, do it more often. It's really good for the blood flow, for detoxing, the fat cells most of us have right here. It's really good. Okay, you can lower the hands all the way to the back, and you can stretch the front, so you make a hollow back. Relax the legs, they're just kind of enjoying that little pat down, and open up. Try to keep the neck long. I mean, you pull your head maybe a little bit backwards, but don't let your head hang all the way down. So don't compress the neck. Shoulder blades together, lengthen the throat basically. Keep breathing. One more breath. And breathe out, slowly come back. Come back to sit, very carefully. Okay. And then you can come all the way to the belly. Just gonna remove this for a second, we're not gonna need it until later. Okay. Just make sure your feet are a little bit apart. If you have lower back problems, just keep them wider apart. You can place the hands under the shoulders. And we're going to go into baby cobra basically. So you can lift the sternum, bring the shoulders back, shoulder blades together, and try to feel how far you can make this cobra. For example, you can lift your hands and try to keep the body exactly the same. So don't try to push yourself up by your hands too much. You use your hands just as a little bit of an active support, but not as the only support. And then try to lengthen the neck again. So you will probably look at your mat, tuck your chin in a little bit, try to relax the belly a little bit. You might need some strength to keep the pose, not too much. Elbows in all the way alongside the body. Your feet are long. If you want, you can always curl your toes under if it's nicer for you. Otherwise, you can just lengthen them. Activate the entire body. One more breath here. And when you breathe out, relax all the way down. Nose to the floor. If you want, you can put your hands in front of you and just relax your head. You can lift both of your feet. And you can just like wiper blades, go from left to right. Relax the back a little bit. Okay. Then you can lower the feet again. We're going to go into Sphinx pose, which is a more relaxed, hollow back. And try to be very mindful of the lower back. We're going to do this pose a lot, because it's a very nice release if you have any tension in the back. But if this is too much, just bring your hands forward a little bit. You'll see, the hollowing of the back will become less. So it's less straining. The pose should be kind of, we always have this orange area where you have red, green and orange. Now red is obviously painful and it's way too much. But the green is kind of the area where you could fall asleep or read a book. It's way too easy for you. It's way too easy on the body, and you cannot feel anything. Nothing happens. And the orange area is where you want to be with any pose, basically. Where you feel something is happening. You're working on something is activated, even if it's passively activated, like in yin yoga, and we do a lot of yin yoga poses here in relaxed yoga class. But you do feel something's working. And for example, in this pose, you might feel some compression in the lower back, which is good. If you don't feel anything, you could widen your hands, mat wide, lift the elbows, and come into seal. And you can always walk your hands even further towards yourself. Keep the lower back and the buttocks relaxed. So don't try to bring this pose forth from strength or tension, but only from relaxation. Lower the shoulders, so don't hang, but really actively bring your shoulders lower, head up, and keep on breathing, very important. So keep the breath flowing, basically. It's no point pushing yourself into something your body's just not ready for, or it's not for you. So try to keep it easy, light. See if you can still smile. And then slowly, when you're ready, we're going to come down. If you're coming down from seal, this is seal pose, you want to go back to Sphinx first. So one by one, lower the elbows, bring yourself back into Sphinx pose, And from there you can lower yourself all the way to the ground. Again, you can just put your hands under your head, relax for a few breaths here. You can again, if you want, you can still lift your feet again. You feel your back needs a little movement. This way it's in a very easy way you're moving your back, like there's no risk of straining. And make the movement small, easy. If you just want to relax, you can lower your feet. You can just lay down. That's always an option, right? You can always just let yourself fall down and be like, oh, okay, just one more breath, Mom. This lighting stuff was so nice. Okay. You can come back into Sphinx pose. We're going to go a bit further in this pose. And then you can kind of tuck in the right hand. So your elbow is under your shoulder and your arm is in front of you. Make sure you can stand. You can lean on the right hand, on the right elbow. You can lift the left foot and you can bring the left hand all the way to the back with the thumb up and hold your foot. Keep on breathing. If you want, if you have space, you can just slightly push. I mean slightly, so be nice to yourself. But sometimes it's easier to just put the hand on top of your foot. And relax. Feel that you can breathe. It's always good if you feel you're working on something that might have a lot of potential in your body, where to stretch or to find a lot of release basically in the muscles. And sometimes it's needed to really kind of activate or irritate basically the muscle a little bit with this stretch in order to relax later. But if you irritate it too much, if you stretch it too much, it will only be more irritated and more painful. So be very aware of that balance. Okay. Easily let go of the left foot, let it down, and we're going to change sides. Okay guys, so left hand, elbow under the shoulder or a little bit more forward. I go a little bit more to the front. Otherwise, this is good too. This is not good because then you're going to hang your shoulder. So under or a little bit more to the front. Lift the right foot, right hand, grab the foot. Try to keep both of your hips on the floor. If you feel you are opening the right hip a lot, lower the foot a little bit more down towards the floor. Okay. And as you see, I'm trying not really to push my foot. I'm just putting a little bit more weight on it, so it's easier to come down. To have the kind of the orange area stretch feeling right here. If I were to push it, I would go into red. If I would have let go, I'm into green because I don't feel anything here. Okay, so this is kind of my green, my orange area. Slowly let go again. Both feet. And again, if you want, you can lower your head on your hands. Take a breath. Fully relax. It's very important to learn that after tension, after deliberately putting tension on your legs, for example, that you can let go again. And you can do that by breathing deeply, fully in and completely out. So not from a point of pressure, but really from a deep, relaxed breathing, which can be really difficult sometimes. So try to practice that if you feel that it's difficult for you to fully breathe. Okay. Slowly, you can come up, and you can go all the way back down to child's pose. So walk your hands towards your knees. And you can open, if you want, you can close your knees for a few breaths. Just make it a very round back in this child's pose. So you can kind of round your back after all the hollow back movements. And you can just lower your hands alongside your knees, alongside your feet. If you want, you can place your hands in front of you. And if it's too much, you can put both fists on top of each other and relax the head on top of the hands. So any option is okay. Find what works for you. And then you can stay in child's pose, but you can open the knees to both sides of the mat. Toes stay together. Hips go back towards the toes. And you can stretch the hands. Try to lift the elbows and the shoulders so you're on your hands. If you want, you can stay on top of your hands. So you can make it even more of a tension, but if you want, you can just stretch the hands out. Try to push the tailbone back and the hands forward, like somebody is stretching you. And pay attention to your back. Try to stretch your back. Try to make it evenly. So as much stretching on the right as on the left side of the back. So keep your hands in the middle, weight in the middle. And then we're going to walk our hands towards the left. All the way to the left, for as far as you want. Keep the stretch. You might feel it more on the right side right now, which is kind of the point. If you want, you can relax your head on the floor. You can also just keep it kind of hovering above your mat. Keep the tailbone back. So push the tailbone back. Arms stretching forward. So you have a full stretch on the lower back, upper back, sides. And then we're going to go the other way. So slowly come back, walk your hands all the way back to the middle. And then go to the right. As far as you like. Try to keep the hands evenly, so shoulder wide. Keep the breathing steady. So you can relax the belly in this pose. It's quite easy to relax the belly because it has a lot of space in between the legs. So really just let it hang. You know, there's no point tucking it in here. We kind of want to create that space to breathe deeply, and you can do that by relaxing the belly. Fully let it hang. Oh, it's so charming. But you know, on the mat, good point, that has no value here. There's no value in aesthetics, just in how it feels and how it works for you. So be brave and let it all hang. You can wiggle a little bit if you like. And if you want, you can choose to come back to the more closed child's pose, so with the knees together. Or you can stay here for a little bit and just relax your elbows on the ground and let your head relax on the ground. And just go with another few deep breaths. Relax the shoulders. If the stretch is too much, go to closed child's pose, because then the shoulders can relax a bit more. Relax the hands. If you want, you can kind of move the wrists, make little circles with them, especially if you've been on the tip of your fingers. And then walk your hands, if you have your hands in front of you, walk your hands towards your body, close the knees. We're going to come into hero pose, but you can curl the toes under for a minute. You don't have to. If it's too much, keep the toes long. So, kind of make myself a little bit more presentable. Aesthetics, right? Okay. If you want, you can curl the toes under, but you might feel that it's kind of straining on your toes, on your foot. If it's too much, come back forward a little bit. Just the more you come forward, the less pressure you have. The more you come back, the harder it becomes. It is really good for the toes. So if you can do it, just make it a very light version. If it's all too much, just stretch the feet. Okay. Keep breathing. Deeply in, all the way out. And then you can lower your hands towards the floor, release the toes. If you want, you can just wiggle them a little bit or pat the floor, like this. I won't do it too hard because of the mic, but you can just wiggle them. Move the ankles. Oh, we're just gonna loosen up the feet. Okay. Then you can come into all fours. Knees under the hips. You can put the hands under the shoulders or a little bit more to the front, because I have some problem with my wrist, so for me it's nicer to keep my hands a little bit more forward. So the bend in my wrists is a little bit less. It's easier. We're gonna go to cat-cow. Very familiar maybe with the pose, just when you breathe in, make a hollow back, stretch yourself, and when you breathe out, round the back all the way. You can stay, if you want, you can stay in the rounded back for a little bit. Just find your pose. If you want to wiggle here, it's fine. But tuck the navel in. And like you push yourself off from the ground. You can kind of push yourself with your legs and with your feet and with your hands. Like someone is pulling your navel upwards. All the way up. You can make it an active pose, as active as you like. And on your next breath in, just let go. Don't let it fall down. So control the movement, but just relax. Relax the belly. So completely let it hang again. Oh, this is so nice. One of the few places maybe where you can just feel that you can let go of all tension in the belly area. You know, no tucking it in. No tucking it in here. Open up to the chest. So open all the way, lift the sternum. Stretch the throat if you want to. And when you breathe out, we're going one more. All the way, rounding the back. If you want, you can move here. Feel free to move. Always feel free to move. If you just want to wiggle your hips a little bit or your shoulders. Anything's good. And you'll notice, because that's if you are a bit, feel like you have some connection with your body again. Maybe you always had it, maybe it's new for you. You can feel what it needs. Okay, I don't. Sometimes I want to stay still, and sometimes my body feels like it keeps on wiggling inside, so I might as well just let it wiggle. And when you breathe out, slowly come back to child's pose. Roll yourself all the way back. If you want, you can open the knees again. You can bring the hands forward or alongside the body. And if it's too much, just fists on top of each other and let your head rest on your hands. Especially if you have high blood pressure or if you're having a cold or a headache, this is better. To just not let your head go lower than your heart. It's easier. And breathe in deeply and all the way out. Because your breath, the way you're breathing, is supporting the body, or it's supposed to support the body. If your breath is shallow or irregular, it will kind of hold you back. You'll notice that when you move. It's not a bad thing, it's just easier if you learn how to breathe fully, relaxed, and evenly. One more breath in child's pose, and again slowly roll yourself back up. You can keep the feet under. You can sit here for a second in child's pose, in hero pose if you want. If you want, you can also stretch the toes the other way. Put your hands behind you and lift the knees. So you're kind of rolling the top of your feet. Might be very weird feeling. You kind of need some belly muscles to pull the knees up. Not too much though, again, keep the breathing nice and easy and deep. Try not to collapse in the shoulders, so don't hang in them, keep them long. So it's kind of these little technical details that make a pose sometimes a bit harder, but in the end more effective. And to minimize the risk of getting injured, you know, making something worse, because that's not what we want. Okay, slowly come back, bring the knees back to the mat. We're gonna go into frog pose, which could be a very, very weird pose for you at first. If you have sensitive knees, use a mat or another mat or a blanket, something under the knees. It should be a bit wide, because we're gonna widen the knees. So you can twist a little bit to the side of your mat. So you can sit on the long side of the mat. And then you can widen the knees. Keep them on the mat or on your blanket. You can bring the feet outwards or backwards, whatever feels good for your ankles. Just as wide as you want. You'll see where you end up. Okay, place your hands in front of you and try to keep the hips in line with the knees. So not to the front, not to the back. If you want, you can lower all the way down to the elbows. It's kind of an interesting pose at first, because it might feel a bit weird, because we never sit like this. You know, we never move like this. So find what feels good for you. And again, try to keep the hips in line. I'll move a little bit so it's easier to see. So you keep the hip in line with the knee and you lower onto your elbows. Keep on breathing. It might feel weird, but it's really good for the hip area. Try to focus on the body. We're going to stay a little bit longer in this pose. So make it doable. Stay in the orange area, don't go into red. And maybe after a few breaths you feel like, hey, I got some more space. And then you can always open the knees a little bit further. Relax the hands, the elbows on the mat or on the ground. Try to relax your feet. Okay, so make sure you make it as comfortable as an uncomfortable pose can be, basically. Relax the belly, you can just let it hang again, okay? So you can just relax the belly completely so the breathing can come through. Make sure it shouldn't hurt anywhere, okay? So it might feel weird and uncomfortable, but it should never hurt. Yoga shouldn't hurt. If you hurt yourself in yoga, you go too far. You know, you have a range of motion, everyone has. And it kind of determines how far you can move in certain ways. And it's different for everyone, and it's also different in every part of your body. And it can differ from day to day. Not completely, because your bone structure doesn't change every day. But the way your muscles work, the way your fascia is, that all depends. Okay. We're going to come out of the pose very slowly. Come back onto your hands. Carefully move the knees closer together. Take your time, one by one. Okay. If you want, you can go to child's pose, or you can come to hero pose just for a moment to relax the hips. Next pose is going to be lying on the back. So if you want to go there, just move yourself onto your back and just relax there. Keep on breathing. And relax the shoulders. If you want, you can close your eyes for a second. Keep on breathing. If you're ready, slowly move on to your back. Okay? So you can pull the feet out in front of you. Lower yourself onto your back. And we're going to continue our stretch with the banana pose. What? Yes, really. Kind of speaks for itself. We're going to turn into a banana. First banana, to the right. Move your hands all the way up and over your head until your thumbs touch the ground. And then we're going to move our feet and our hands to the right. You can move your shoulders as well. The hips stay in place. So you keep the hips in the center. And we're going to kind of the middle of the banana. And the legs and the feet go to the right. The hands go to the right. If you want, you can use your right hand to hold your left wrist. Otherwise, you can keep it more active and keep your hands slightly lifted above the ground. So you make it an active banana. If you want to make it more relaxed, more passive, you can hold your left wrist and relax both of your hands, both of your arms on the ground. And if you need more stretch, you can place the left feet over the right one. Okay. Relax the head. Try to feel if you can still relax the belly. And focus on that stretch on the left side. Breathe into the stretch. That might sound flaky, but it really works. Okay, so you visualize the whole left side, or you might not even have to visualize. You can really feel that entire left part of the body. And every time you breathe, you pay more attention. Pay attention to where the breath is going. And you kind of make space into that entire left side to ease into that stretch. So it's going to be a soft stretch. With every breath, the stretch will become a little bit easier, a little bit softer. Because when you breathe out, you release the tension. So breathe in, make space. Breathe out, let go. Let it all go. Everything you might feel in this stretch, how it should feel, let it go. Just accept where you are right now. Don't go any further than you can or that feels good. Just stay away from the red zone, basically. Only orange. And then we're slowly going to shift sides. So you bring your hands back. You bring your feet back in line with your body so you are completely straight. And then we're going to go the other way. So again, hands and shoulders. Arms go to the left. Legs go all the way to the left, just as far as you like. And you can make it more passive. You hold the right wrist with the left hand and just relax both of your arms on the ground. If you make it active, lengthen both arms and let them kind of hover above the ground. If you want more stretch, bring the right foot over the left one. And breathe again into the right side. So now you bring your attention towards the right. Try to feel how that stretches on the other side. It might feel very differently, you know. We're never completely symmetrical. So every pose can be different on both sides. So the same principle applies here. When you breathe in, try to make space in the area that you feel is tension. And when you breathe out, you completely let go. So a little bit tension goes along with the breath every time you breathe out. An itch on my nose. Maybe you feel you can completely relax both of your feet and your legs. If not, it's okay if they hold a little bit of strength. Try to minimize it though, so you don't put extra tension in the legs. Only the strength to keep them long. That's okay. One more deep breath in, all the way out. And after that, slowly come back to center. So let yourself come back, both hands in line, both feet in line. And you can lower your hands, just take a moment here. Very stubborn itch. Take a moment here. And then you can, if you want, you can just bring your knees towards your chest. So one moment to just roll yourself a little bit. Kind of massage the lower back into the mat. And let it roll sides. Relax the shoulders, just make a soft, easy movement here. If you feel the need to make one more active pose, you can just completely curl yourself into a ball. So you pull your chin towards your chest, your head up towards your knees. If you want, you can also let go of your knees and just stretch your arms out. You can hold that for a little bit. And when you breathe out, lower yourself back down onto the mat. And we're going to go into Shavasana. So we're done. We're going to make one final relaxation pose. You can lower both of your feet. You can let them just lay a bit wide. It's easier to relax usually for the hips if you let the feet fall outwards. You can kind of pull the shoulder blades a little bit together, kind of like you roll the shoulders backwards on the mat. And you almost feel like your arms open by itself. So the palms come up. If it's better for you, if it feels better, you can always put your hands on your belly or closer to your body. You can pull your chin one more time towards your chest so you lengthen the neck. And then just let go. If your head rolls back up a little bit, that's fine. Because then it's relaxed and you're not compressing the neck. And again, here in this pose, you can take deep, slow, cleansing breaths just to relax. There's nothing to accomplish here. There's nothing you need to reach. Nothing you need to do or change, improve. You only have to just lay down, feel your body relaxing. You can feel the breathing become slow, natural. It's like your body can become heavy. Every time you breathe out, you can feel how your legs become heavy, how your hips become heavy, your back becomes heavy, your shoulders, your arms become heavy, your head is heavy. It's like your entire body can sink into the floor. Like it kind of melts onto the mat. And you can feel how your entire body can relax. become soft, spacious, warm, fuzzy. And there's nothing you need to do. You can just be. You can just be in this moment, enjoying laying here. And if you want, you can just stop the video here, fall asleep if it's at night, or if you feel like you could use a nap. But it's really good for the body and for the mind to not fall asleep right now, but to come up first. But it's your choice. If you want to sleep, go for it. If not, try to make small movements again with the body. You can make movements with your feet, movements with your hands, your wrists. You can stretch yourself out, you can yawn or sigh a few times, take deep breaths. Slowly make yourself active again. Not too much, not too hard, just come back with your awareness in the present. And you can roll onto your side, preferably your right. And from there, slowly come back up. Lift your hand, push yourself up. Don't use too much of your muscle. Come back to a sitting position. Take your time. If you want, you can sit on a blanket or on a cushion. You can come back to hero pose if you find that comfortable. And otherwise, cross-legged, lotus, everything's fine. Again, as long as you feel you can relax in the pose, it's not straining you. And then you can put one hand on your belly, and you can put another one on the chest, the heart area. And just feel what you feel. Maybe you feel your breath going up and down into your belly. Your belly's moving a little bit along with the breath. And when you breathe out, you might feel the belly go inwards. And when you breathe in, the belly comes back out. Maybe you feel your heartbeat. Maybe you feel a certain temperature. Is it warm, cold? Is there a difference in your hands, in your body? Give yourself some love, through your hands, through what you feel. You can smile. You did it. You showed up for yourself. Yoga is all about self-love and self-care. And through that you can love and take care of others. But loving yourself and taking care of yourself comes first. It might sound a bit not so yoga, but it is. You have to put yourself first at some point, making time for this moment, yoga or anything that helps you take care of yourself, love yourself. And from there you have the energy, the love, space to be there for others, to love others, take care of them. So you can be proud. You can be proud of this moment, proud of you, that you did it. It took some time just for you. One more breath. In and all the way out. And you can slowly, if you want, you can keep your hands where they are. Otherwise you can bring both of the palms together in front of your heart. Feel the energy in your hands when they touch your body. Take one last moment to thank yourself for being here. Paying attention to yourself, your body, your mind, and your soul. Thank you so much for joining me, and namaste. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up, it would be a big help. And if you like to stay updated on new videos, subscribe to my channel. For more information, you can go to my website or social media.